Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy, and welcome to my hotel room in Toronto, Canada. I am on a little spring break road trip with my family. We're having the best time. I love road trips. I find it's a really wonderful way to travel and gives you a really good sense of how far things are. You know, when you fly, you just sort of magically appear in some other place. You don't really understand, at least I don't really understand, how incredibly far places are. I guess you can kind of, because you've sat on the plane for a long while, but something about a road trip is just so lovely. You can see the changes in foliage and plants and weather and all those beautiful kinds of things when you're on a road trip, and you can pick up road trip snacks, which is one of my favorite things to do. And especially with my favoriteest people on this planet. Love traveling with my family. At any rate, we are in Toronto. This is my first time in Toronto and I'm loving it. One of my quests to coming to Canada was to find bagged milk or milk in a bag. Have you heard about this? Do you know about this? My Eastern Canadian friends, I am sure this is very passé, blasé, boring, but this is very interesting to me. So I first learned about this, many years ago from Yo-Yo Max, and I will put a link down below to her original video. And she talked about milk in a bag. And I said, what in the world? So I had it in my little Rolodex of ideas in the back of my head. And I said, oh yes, we are going to Toronto, so I must find some. And indeed, down the street from our hotel, I went to the metro and found milk in a bag. And I met lovely Kaylin. She was lovely, so sweet. Thanks so much for saying hello to me. As to all my other Canadian lovelies who came up and very kindly said hello to me on our travels. Very sweet and lovely. It's so great to have all that kind of support and to actually meet you in the wild. And here's the milk. In a bag. Can you believe it? Have you seen this before? Milk, squishy bag. What? Right? So this brand happens to be Beatrice, but there are others, and it is for 4 liters of milk, quite a lot of milk. So why does Canada, particularly Eastern Canada, sell milk in a bag? Well, apparently in the 1970s, when Canada went metric, they had to change their units or the size of their milk bottles from imperial to metric. So first they decided, let's get rid of the glass. It's very heavy, and changing all of that equipment to accommodate a different size bottle would be very costly. So they came up with this idea of using the technology of plastic bags to repackage the milk in liter sizes. As I noticed in the supermarket, you can find milk in smaller sizes in cartons and in jugs. And the reason why they hold on to the plastic bag is that it's a way that you can avoid the jug or carton deposit. Apparently there's a deposit, so if you buy it in the plastic, you don't have to pay that. At any rate, I did find it. It does totally exist, and I was very tickled by it, as were my children. They couldn't help but poke the bag and see, is there milk in there? And indeed, milk is in there. You might imagine, how do I deal with a bag of milk? How do I pour it on my cereal? Well, you get one of these. This is a pitcher that I picked up at the supermarket, and it was $2.50. So let's open this up and see what our bag of milk looks like. I opted for 2% milk. That's what we call low-fat milk. They call it part skimmed. They also had 1% and 0%, which we also have in the US, and they had 3%, which was the whole milk. It's so floppy. Oh my gosh, there's 3 in here. I thought there was gonna be 2. Look. Bag of milk. It's squishy. Squishy. It's like a pillow of milk. Ooh, it fits nicely. There's a little bit of a vacuum. It's a tight fit. It's kind of like me getting into my running pants. Okay. And now I just cut the corner and dispense the milk. Let's see how well it pours. Oh, it pours just fine. Milk in a bag. I don't drink much milk, but since we're in Canada, cheers. Tastes like milk. Good old milk. Tastes just like low-fat milk. Milk is delicious. I mostly drink rice milk with my cereal or oatmeal, but regular milk, it's great. Cool. Slightly sweet. I think what I miss most about regular milk is both the flavor has a really nice, rich flavor to it, but the viscosity. Rice milk is pretty watery, and if you don't shake it up, the bottom of the carton of rice milk gets a little bit grainy, you know? My son calls it the dregs, and he's right. It's got a little bit of a grit to it. Milk, regular cow's milk, does not. And it has a really lovely kind of fattiness that comes with milk. Nice. So with my milk, I thought, why not try a couple other Canadian treats while I'm here? Yesterday, my family and I went to the St. Lawrence market, which was lovely, an indoor market, all kinds of vendors, and I picked up a couple sweets so I could taste it with my milk. But sadly, on the way home, one of them melted pretty badly. And this is a Nanaimo bar, and many of my Canadian lovelies have said, please make these or try these. I've never had one before. It's a layered bar. Oh, this is so sad. I'm sorry, Canadian friends, but the chocolate ganache layer just completely melted. So I might have to do a redo. Let me know in the comments if you have a recipe that you can recommend, because this is a pretty sad example, but we'll give it a taste anyways. Here we go. It's Itadakimasu. It's not what I expected. To me, it tastes very much like a Mounds bar or an Almond Joy without the almonds. You have that distinctive bite of the dry desiccated coconut in there. There's some chocolate, not very strong. This yellow portion on the top is very sweet and tastes more like an icing, but has kind of a fluffy texture. Really good combination with milk. Next, we're going to try this little friend. Look how cute this is. It does have a little bit of chocolate on it because these two items did get a little bit friendly in my backpack on the way home. And this is called a butter tart. Look. Cute. Itadakimasu. So that bite, I mostly got a tart crust, which is similar to a pie crust. Not flaky, but kind of short. Buttery for sure, crumbly, delicious. And then I got a little bit of the filling, which is buttery and sweet, kind of butterscotchy. But let me get a bigger bite so I can taste the filling some more. Really great with milk, and I'm sure really great with coffee. It reminds me of pecan pie filling in terms of its level of sweetness, very sweet, but not molasses, more buttery, slightly vanilla, but mostly just butter. It's got a translucent consistency and a slightly brown color. Fan-stinkin-tastic. That is absolutely delicious, and I think the name is totally appropriate. Butter tart. Butter is certainly the star here, and although the filling is quite sweet, it goes really well with the crust. Very nicely balanced. So that's it for the tasting, but I thought I'd show you something that you might not be familiar with because it's kind of new to me too. Canadian money. Americans do not have colorful money like this, nor is our format vertical. It has a little clear holographic panel. It's plastic, very durable. Here's the 5, horizontal format, more clear stuff. The other cool thing I found while I dig into my pants, as other parts of the world also have, including Japan, dollar coins, multiple dollar coins. This two-tone coin is a $2 Canadian coin. Love that, so handy, convenient. There's also this little goldie, which has got little edges on it. This is a dollar coin, which we do have in the US, but I have to say, mostly what I see in circulation and what's most often used in the US is the dollar bill rather than the dollar coins. I do see them in circulation, but they're not used very frequently. And as we go home, I have to make sure I have one of each so I can add them to my kids' international money collection. All right, my lovelies, I hope you enjoyed the episode of Canadian Milk in a Bag as much as I enjoyed making it, because it's been a long time coming. I've been on the search for milk in a bag for a while. But it just makes the actual experience all the sweeter when it finally happens. Alrighty, my lovelies, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! My parents had a waterbed. That's what this reminds me of, even though it's more of a milk bed. Milk Barbie bed. Ew.